cross-border shopping. A CBC NewsHour special edition.
As we told you earlier tonight, this is a special CBC NewsHour. For the rest of the program, we will look at one of the most controversial economic issues being debated in the country, cross-border shopping. We'll look at the winners and the losers. We'll see how much it's costing us and what's being done about it.
I don't feel guilty at all because I think our government should try and do something to bring our prices down.
Welcome, Canadian shoppers.
This is utopia. This is what they wish they had up there.
If our taxes were down, maybe we'd be able to shop in Canada more.
We've been down once before with friends of ours, and now we're going down a second time just to enjoy the weekend and get away for a while.
It's Friday afternoon. The Nichols are off to Minot for the weekend.
The last time that we went, we mainly went shopping for clothes, and there was a difference. It was cheaper, and we still came out ahead, and we'd been there for a weekend, and we came out, it was about $100 ahead.
I myself like to go into the tool shops and look at the tools down there.
I'm going shopping for clothes.
Craftsman tools down there sell a lot cheaper than up in Canada.
But I'm also, this time I'm going to shop for educational materials. I'm a teacher.
And also clothes and shoes seem to sell a lot cheaper down in the States than up in Canada as well.
Good evening, folks. Where are you from?
We're from Saskatoon.
And where are you headed today?
We're heading down to Minot.
And your citizenship?
In Canada here.
You're all Canadian citizens?
Yes, we are.
You all have some ID?
Sure do.
Is this shopping, business?
Shopping, holiday.
In the past 12 months, about 1 million people drove across the Saskatchewan border.
Purchase any alcohol or tobacco at the duty-free?
No, we haven't.
That's one person every 30 seconds, a 30% increase from the year before. This is where many of them end up.
Where are you from?
From Canada,
Okay.
Saskatchewan.
Which part?
Up around Kenosee Lake.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, park there.
Go to Kenosee a lot. Spend a lot of time at your water slide and your golf course.
Yeah, it's good for that.
It's right down on
Vance Castleman runs one of Minot's busiest hotels.
How far ahead do people have to book to get a spot here?
Well, we like to ask them to book as far ahead as they can. Realistically, you're looking at 6 months. Okay, there you go. If I could have you fill this out, please. Each rack represents one reservation. And of course, the board goes on around the corner, and well, I can see we're booked into July, August.
304?
Yep.
There is the transaction fee, $1 Canadian. Do you want to pay that separately or just take it off of here?
Take it off there.
So 304?
Canadians spend money in Minot, a lot of money. $42 million last year alone. They spend it at discount stores like this.
What percentage of your sales come from Canadians?
Well, roughly, I would have guessed that it would be about 20% right now, and at Christmas time it would be higher because they come down and they're obviously buying a lot of toys at that time.
What are they looking for? What's popular among Canadians?
Well, the biggest thing that we notice is small electrics, toasters, blenders, that sort of thing. For some reason, it's substantially lower here, and we do buy it in bulk, so we can offer it at a greater savings. Electronics is unbelievable. VCRs, TVs, cameras, that sort of thing. They just go crazy for those.
Minot is about the same size as Moose Jaw, but unlike Moose Jaw, in the past year and a half, 29 businesses have either been started or expanded as a direct result of cross-border shopping. This new hotel is one of them.
It's a fabulous addition to Minot's economy. We're going to put 40 people to work that didn't have jobs before or create 40 jobs with a payroll of close to 300,000. Hotels are full every weekend. So
Canadian couples? Canadian families?
Lots of Canadian couples, lots of Canadian families. From now until...
Restaurant owner Carol Burtness and his brother have invested $3 million to build this 100-room hotel. It's walking distance from the big shopping mall in Minot.
Cross-border shopping in the last few years, and for 15 years it's helped, but the last few years it's been a staggering impact on my business. We turn away as high as 300 people on Saturday night at the restaurant and feed 400. So it's a capacity deal, and that they want what we've got.
But not everyone is as enthusiastic about this unabashed capitalism.
We believe that Sunday shopping is an assault on the small town, hurting our rural communities. It's an assault on the church.
Total will be $42.39 then, please.
And it is an assault on the family.
A year ago, North Dakota passed a Sunday shopping law to attract even more weekend Canadian shoppers.
We're trying to protect the quality of life and the lifestyle that we have enjoyed in North Dakota for many, many years.
Americans are coming right into our backyards to lure Canadian shoppers with ads.
This is the way to get away.
And in person.
Stick out the palm of your hand. Now I'm going to place one clown nose in your hand. I'm going to ask you to squeeze it real tight. We spend about $28,000 to $29,000 annually up in Canada promoting Canada, and we get about anywhere from a $45 to $49 million return on that.
So are those other ones cheaper, though, than in Saskatoon?
Way cheaper.
How much are they in Saskatoon?
This top box.
And it's working. The city's attracting thousands of Canadians like the Nichols with their dollars.
Small plunge router for $50.99. I think you should take it.
Okay, and I can always hand the pants a little bit. So are those other ones cheaper, though, than in Saskatoon?
Way cheaper.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thank you. You have a nice afternoon. Thanks.
It's early Saturday afternoon. The Nichols have been bargain hunting for only a couple of hours. Time and space are already a concern.
You should have brought the pictures and set them on our lap or something like that.
You should have brought the van. If you could have, that would have been good.
Yeah.
We'll be taking off for the mall now. And then remember, our pickup is at 8 o'clock.
Canadians have always crossed the border to shop, but now they're pouring into the States by the busload, lured by what may have become the world's largest bargain basement.
I guess people like to see what's new and different in the States. It's always been that way and always will be. You'll never stop the cross-border shopping.
Welcome, Canadian shoppers. We'd just like to remind you that today is the last day for the sales in our ad.
The shopping migration is partly the unintended result of the Canada-U.S. Free Trade Agreement. Tariffs were lowered so prices on both sides would eventually be about the same. But Canada's goods and services tax changed all that.
Now, what were they in the other store again?
$24.99.
And what were they in Saskatoon?
$69.99.
Okay, and we're not exactly sure if that was the same one, though.
Well, I'd probably go with, at your price point, this one would probably be more than you need right here. This one right here would run $34.99 on sale. What's $49?
Okay, very much.
You from town here?
No,
we're from Saskatoon.
Okay. Keep your slips on this too, because there'll be a anything over $25, you get a tax back from North Dakota too.
Oh, really?
Okay. Ask the girl right up the till.
Oh, well, that's an extra bone.
So it's even cheaper.
Yeah.
Bud Fletcher owns a liquor store right across the street from one of Minot's busiest malls. Canadians account for almost half his business.
Beer and whiskey and vodka and rum and cigarettes. I mean, that's basically what they come looking for.
It's a lot cheaper, of course. It's almost half the price. So we always take our limit of liquor back when we're coming home.
Comes to $74.18 out of 100.
90 years is what he's after.
These are much cheaper, I think.
I'd like to get some, I don't know if they carry them down here, Ascot Tigers or something like that, a volleyball shoe. No, just a court shoe. Simple court shoes.
A whole lot cheaper, I think.
Not that I've noticed so far anyways.
They're ugly, too.
The farther cross-border shoppers travel, the more likely they are to buy big-ticket items, such as audio equipment, furniture, and appliances. In some cases, they sell for almost half the Canadian price. Footwear, toys, and clothes, especially women's clothes, are also big savings. But the most common purchase is cheap gasoline. It costs 20 cents per liter less. Ironically, much of the gas sold in the northern U.S. is imported from Canada.
Well, the price on some things are very, very much better down here than they are back home.
You can get cheaper your furniture-wise and appliances, you get better price down here than you do up there. And then your clothing and stuff.
But everything isn't cheaper in the States. Jeans, for example, cost about $10 more in Canada. But after duty, GST, and exchange, the price is about the same. Some small appliances can actually cost you more. Coffee makers as much as $15 more. And some Canadian stores won't honor warranties on items purchased in the U.S. Still, the Nichols say shopping south of the border is worth it.
Picked up these head tennis rackets very reasonably.
Yeah, how much were they?
34 a piece.
And what would you have paid for those in Saskatchewan?
Well,
so our calculation's about $80.
yeah, 60 or 80 bucks, I would say.
I see you bought some shoes.
You bet.
That seems to be
But yeah, Payless Shoes is my all-time favorite store in the States. Suede boots. And those were
$17.99, I think.
yeah, something like 17 bucks. So that's pretty good. The ones I saw in Saskatoon were 30 or more. So that's not bad.
How much did you spend altogether?
Today? We must have spent in the neighborhood of
300?
300. Well, with the toolbox, probably almost $400.
How much then do you think you saved by purchasing these items in this?
Well, how much would a toolbox be in Saskatoon?
Well, the toolbox is probably the big saver, and I would calculate on that. I probably saved about $200.
And the tennis rackets we saved on. Everything else, I don't think we really saved that much. We don't have room. We barely have room in the trunk of our car now to put the toolbox in.
In fact, we had to buy a measuring tape so that we could measure the toolbox in the trunk to get it in.
We have about half an inch on either side.
Okay, what are you doing here?
The Nichols will find out exactly how much they saved when they get to the border. That later.
It takes millions of gallons of water a minute to turn on your lights. Yet it now requires less than 3 tablespoons of fuel per kilometer to carry you swiftly over the earth. The new Civic VX from Honda. Just think of what you can save.
Having a mortgage shouldn't make you feel trapped. You need a mortgage with flexibility.
You need to know what you can afford before you start shopping for a home. With a CIBC pre-approved mortgage, you do.
I can usually pre-approve your CIBC FlexiPlan mortgage, offer you terms from 6 months, and even show you how to pay it off years sooner.
Buying a home is one of the most exciting times in your life. And with the right mortgage options, it just keeps getting better.
We're CIBC. Get us working for you.
I love Instant Bingo. I play anytime I want. Just scratch the caller's card, match those numbers to any of your 4 cards, and bingo! I got a bingo!
Have a ball playing Instant Bingo. Scratch this instant.
Hi, I'm Maureen Taylor. Write us a spring limerick and win this fashionable Briar jacket. Listen to the Morning Edition this week for details.
We can buy a few extras, but no, we're not living extravagant by any means.
Kim Schmidt makes $35,000 a year managing a shoe store in Minot.
Company's excellent.
He considers himself upper middle class.
The wife works too, yeah. She pulls in about 17 to 18,000. So Combined, we've got a fairly nice salary between us. We're living fairly well and usually have a little...
Income tax and health insurance take about 15% of his salary.
For the insurance I've got, you're probably looking at around $10,000 worth of insurance. I would say out of that $10,000, we probably pay out of the pocket about $2,000. Company picks up the rest.
It's certainly not the wages. It's our high taxes in Saskatchewan because we're just overtaxed living in this province.
Irma Wilson makes a few thousand less managing a Regina shoe store, but she pays twice as much income tax.
Although I make less money, I think I'm better off because we have Saskatchewan medical plan, good working conditions, and the Saskatchewan labor law looks after the worker.
All in all, yeah, I think we might be a little better off down here than what the Canadians are, even based on the salary difference.
So who is better off? In Canada, the average worker gives more of their paycheck to governments than to retailers. About a third of that salary goes to income tax to pay for things such as health care, welfare, and unemployment insurance. Municipal taxes are almost double in Saskatchewan. We pay another 7% on all goods and services we buy. Even things like phone bills and car insurance cost more here than in North Dakota. Irma Wilson pays $540 a year to drive her car in Regina. It costs Kim Schmidt $250.
The Canadian worker, I've envied the Canadian worker. He created his health insurance.
John Geffro is with the American Federation of Labor.
So when Canadians complain about paying high taxes, and you know, a lot of that goes toward our social program, what do you say to them?
I've got an ulcer worrying about how I'm going to pay next month's. I've been unemployed for 3 months, and I'm having a hell of a time figuring out where I'm going to pay next month's health insurance. He doesn't have to worry about where my ulcers are churning. The Canadian worker does not have to worry about his health insurance if he's unemployed. That alone is enough.
There are other reasons we pay more for some things in Canada. For example, alcohol, gas, and cigarettes here are heavily taxed, $2 on a pack of 25. On Canadian food and clothing, we're paying the cost of high tariffs.
That's a large, though. I'd be too north.
The government protects these industries by not allowing cheaper foreign products in. When you limit supply, it drives prices up. Businesses here also say they're overregulated. On Canadian-made products, French and English, as well as metric conversion, have to be on the labels. That costs money. Competition is another reason. Here, many of the big department stores are owned by a few companies. In the States, there are more independents, more variety. Competition drives prices down. So even before Kim Schmidt opens his shoe store in Minot, he has a cost advantage over Irma Wilson. And she says it has nothing to do with wages and everything to do with taxes.
This year, use a post-emergent herbicide that controls green foxtail from the 1 to 6 leaf stage. And you can control up to 30 of your worst broadleaf weeds. Pinpoint accuracy. That's the power of laser and Laser DF from Herxt.
It feels so good when it's right, when you know you found the style of your life.
On April 1st, it's Cornwall Center's April Fool's Moonlight Madness Sale. It's no joke. There's savings of up to 70%. Free parking after 6 in both Cornwall parkades. And you can enter to win Phantom of the Opera tickets. The April Fool's Moonlight Madness Sale, April 1st from 6 to 11 p.m. at Cornwall Center. It would be foolish to miss it.
Cornwall Center, your life is our style.
Now it's your turn to talk.
Do you remember your first bra? Yes. Join us, the kids from Degrassi.
The majority of us go through a pretty bad acne stage as we talk to teens about topics that matter.
Tonight, Degrassi Talks.
About sexuality.
We'd like to welcome you back. Well, the border traffic isn't going all just one way. In this segment on cross-border shopping, we'll look at what is being done to get Americans to visit and to keep Canadians at home.
How many pairs of shoes did you bring in? 3,500. 3,500 pairs of shoes.
It's the eve of one of the biggest days of the year at Regina's Northgate Mall.
Like 50% to 75% off. All this other stuff is basically just your regular lines. That's a hell of a deal.
You guys had these last year too, didn't you?
Yeah, it's regular $54, GST included, and then like $29.88. You can't beat that.
Few merchants are as upbeat as John Neal. He's manager of Bata Shoes. It's one of many Canadian stores trying to combat cross-border shopping.
Okay.
When Saskatchewan shoppers look for bargains in North Dakota, many end up in shoe stores. Bata is trying to beat the American shoe suppliers at their own game, prices. Has this American cross-border threat, has that forced you to lower your prices?
Our prices have been lowered, yes, to compete.
And what does that do for business?
We hope to increase sales by 30% by having a lower price, getting the people to shop at home.
Bata is hoping more sales will offset cheaper prices and profits won't be affected.
Yeah, this doesn't come in half size or European sizes. This is equivalent to...
Inside Neal's store, the cross-border battle is obvious. Customers can't help but notice a price comparison chart of the most popular footwear.
With the exchange, it's 35 cents a pair less. And you don't have to go and wait in line at the border, and you can save your cash and you can stay at home.
Bata also offers what's called a Canadian passport. Purchases are marked in it. After you've bought 5 pairs of shoes, you get a 6th pair free.
I think this would certainly keep me shopping here. I think it's an incentive.
So you'll be back?
Yes, especially because I'm more than, what is it, I bought 4 pair and you buy 5 and
6th is free.
The 6th is free, so I suppose, yeah, that's an incentive for me to return here.
Now, if you guys can lower your prices, how come other companies can't? How come these other ones are whining about how taxes are killing us? And why don't they lower their prices?
Well, we've started, so they'll probably follow.
I don't mean just shoe stores, I mean everyone.
That's right, Jen. It has to be that way.
You mean everyone's going to have to lower their prices?
Yes, they will.
So why aren't they lowering them now? A lot of people suggest they can't lower them anymore. They'll go out of business.
Well, then you're going to be out of business. A half loaf of bread is better than no bread at all. This is why our prices have been all put this way.
So in other words, you're saying...
You can compete. It is proven.
You can get the top 20 CDs at $15.88, but only today and only at Audio Warehouse.
Saturday afternoon at Regina's Audio Warehouse. A live radio remote is brought in to pump up business.
10-to-1 zoom, flexi grip, self-timer, interval timer, and wireless remote control.
Electronic stores are under fire from American competitors as much as any retailer. Selling video cameras in Saskatchewan isn't easy because North Dakota usually offers lower prices.
Oh, that's neat. Yeah, called the flexi grip, only by Canada.
VCRs, TVs are also cheaper in the States.
There's the color of it, and it actually is the same color as the Yamahas.
But this store's owner, Brian Melby, is playing up service and warranty. He'll honor warranties for Canadian-bought products, but not American-bought products.
Service is number one. That's what we're selling. We're selling a business that has a product that we service you after the sale. We're certainly not just going to drop you off when you're done. And the end of the story is you come back to us if you have any problems. In Minot, that's not the case. Those people are living off the larger population north of them, and they'll do anything to make the sale, but unfortunately you're going back there to get your hopefully you won't have any problems, but if you do, you're going back to Minot to get it repaired.
No warranty offer here.
No, sir.
Hang on to this. This is your warranty. And we'll give you a call when that remote does come in.
Okay.
Okay? Have yourself a good weekend.
Melby and other retailers are also getting some help from Ottawa. Last summer, it lifted import duties on things like VCRs. That allows Melby to buy cheaper stock and pass the savings on to consumers.
2 cartons of cigarettes, 1 bottle, and 1 case of beer. Okay, I'm going to do a look in your trunk.
And there are now added deterrents for Canadian shopping in the U.S., a 7% provincial tax on American-bought liquor and tobacco.
Retailers complain a lot about saying, you know, we have to pay our duties and taxes here. How come the people who go south of the border don't? Well, now they'll have to.
There's also moral pressure to spend dollars in Canadian stores. While Minot malls fill up, Saskatchewan businesses close up. The president of the Saskatchewan Chamber of Commerce, John Brennan, says unless more Canadians spend at home, our social programs are in trouble.
By virtue of the wages that you receive within the city of Regina, by virtue of the healthcare services that you get within the province, you are a whole lot better off than the equivalent worker in the city of Minot. And so if you're going to go to Minot and buy the low prices and come home here and also then try and get the benefits, it's kind of like getting your cake and eat it too.
But Canadians shopping in Minot seem to be more concerned about low prices than flag waving.
I don't feel guilty at all because I think our government should try and do something to bring our prices down.
If our taxes were down, maybe we'd be able to shop in Canada more.
Even Brennan admits patriotism only goes so far. He says retailers will ultimately decide their own fate.
Individual businesses can be stirred by the competition that is created because of this, and indeed I think we've seen that. I think we've seen quality of service levels going up, more attention to service, more aggressive merchandising.
More than 50 Saskatchewan communities are fighting back. They're counteracting cross-border shopping with this. They're called Western Bucks, interest-free loans of up to $2,000 a person with one condition: you spend the money at home.
Consumers were going out of town for their shopping, and we wanted to do something to counteract that.
In Swift Current, the idea is paying off.
Last year we put out slightly over $1 million, and this year our projections are that we will be well over the $1 million if the pace continues. So it's growing by leaps and bounds each year.
But the question remains, are enough Saskatchewan consumers buying the province's sales pitch and shopping at home?
Prices in the States are incredibly low. You don't see as many sales, such as, well, these sidewalk sales here that get as low as the States, but it's close. They're getting close to it. But I don't think it happens often enough. They should have it more often. Frankly, I think prices just have to be lower here for people to stop going across the border.
Well, I'll tell you something. We were on holiday this year, and I wanted a VCR Plus. You know what VCR Plus is? I priced it here with $89 when we left. I bought it across the line for $59. When I came home last week, it was advertised for $59 here. So I might as well have bought it at home, right?
I ain't seen a hair all day.
What'd you see? Another squirrel.
Squirrel?
How about you? Oh, we've seen a
Well,
few.
Baitmasters Hunting Camp in Green Lake is one of about 400 outfitters in Saskatchewan, outfitters that rely on Americans to keep them in business.
Come on, John. Take some pictures.
How's that? I'm John Forrester from Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and I'm up here on a deer hunting trip with Brian and Sylvia Hofford. It's money well spent. Each time I come up, I have no regrets.
It's costing each of these Americans $1,300 for a week's worth of food, lodging, and deer hunting.
American hunters are our bread and butter. If it wasn't for them, I'm sure we'd be on the unemployment list like everybody else in Saskatchewan.
The Hoffords go out of their way to cater to Americans, and it's working. They're booked until 1994.
They like our hospitality. Gives them a sense of adventure. And I think they like the snow every once in a while. It doesn't melt in 3 days. And big deer.
Yeah, that shot, that's where he shot him in the ass, and it come out right there on the ground.
Yeah, he was just about that angle.
Yeah.
Could you have done this in Alaska or Montana or Washington?
We have done it in Alaska. And it was a bad one.
How come?
A bad outfitter. Yeah.
Can you describe why?
Overbooked with people. No place for the hunters to hunt, really.
Like Canadians who do their shopping in the States, these hunters feel they're getting better value by crossing the border, more bang for their buck.
Money's money. We pay for a service, and y'all come to our place, you pay for a service. Doesn't matter to me.
One will drink in a grave. Okay, Skull. 91. Get in there, Skull. Header. Header.
Events like the Big Valley Jamboree also attract Americans and their money. $45 million flow north into Saskatchewan every year. Agribition gets its share. So does Saskatoon Shakespeare Festival. The people who rely on tourism in this province don't wait for the Americans to come to them. They go to the Americans.
Yes.
Ted Horning is with Economic Diversification and Trade. His job is to sell Saskatchewan in the United States.
I'm on my way down to Minneapolis to do the Minneapolis Sports Show, and we do about 7 of these each year in various parts of the United States. I've completed shows in Chicago and Kansas. We've been to St. Louis and Seattle.
Horning says nature is this province's biggest selling point.
We are still perceived as the last frontier to some of the finest fishing and hunting and wilderness experience, being it canoeing, hiking, or whatever.
10 minutes, 15 minutes went by, eh? And all of a sudden you hear a boom. Then you hear this.
Hunting and fishing bring in about $25 million a year from the States, and that translates into about 1,600 seasonal jobs. Like a good fishing story, those numbers are growing every year. And that's good news for a province that's usually outside the economic window, looking in.
City Cleaners, the answer to who, what, and where.
You want to lose weight, right?
Well, we have a great suggestion. Join Weight Watchers now for just $30. You will save $10. That's not even the whole story.
We want you to be successful.
So we're going to help you even more by giving you up to $20 worth of Weight Watchers coupons. Call for the meeting nearest you.
I think you can do it.
You've got it in you to get it off you.
To fly free, long the dream of people everywhere. Now, thanks to a program called Air Miles, the dream of free air travel is a possibility for anyone who shops. Buy goods and services you buy every day. Collect the Air Miles travel miles that come with them. And before you know it, you're flying, free. So wherever you see this symbol, shop like always, fly like never before.
The hot new looks are in. Come see the Brick's new spring fashions. And when you buy, make no down payment. Make no payments until next year. And pay no interest charges on all these fabulous new looks. Check our 12-page flyer for introductory sale prices. Like this 5-piece dinette, $198. This great living room package, sofa, chair, and love seat, $698. Plus, we're making room for new arrivals with clearance items at 68 cents on the dollar. Limited time only, no down payment. No payments till next year. No interest. Nobody beats the Brick.
The word's on the street. It's a hot word from Toyota. And you spell it P-A-S-E-O. The word is Paseo. Toyota Paseo. And it starts at under 13.4. Toyota Paseo. The promise of something better.
It's 2 o'clock Sunday afternoon. The Nichols arrive at the border.
Well, I wonder what duty's going to be on some of this stuff.
How are you people today?
Very good.
Good. And where are you people from?
We're from Saskatoon.
How much have you purchased or acquired?
$464.21.
You can just pull off to the side anywhere and come inside for me, please.
Sure will.
Bring all your receipts in with you, please.
You bet.
Like most Canadians, the Nichols are declaring their purchases at Canada Customs, but not all shoppers are so honest.
Well, the fields look fairly dry. I think they probably could cross anywhere.
Wouldn't even need a four-wheel here.
No. It's so wide open.
It's here along the back roads where goods are sneaked across the border. Just last night, it happened again. To RCMP officers Bob Pilon and Bill McClellan, it's no surprise.
They're crossing on, as you can see here, the border anywhere between the ports. There's so many trails along our Saskatchewan border into the United States. And they just cross there, usually during the early evening, just between dusk going on to dark. Cross between the ports with their lights out, and it's hard to detect them coming across.
They're very sophisticated. They know the areas, the equipment they use are, they use CBs, radio scanners, that sort of thing. I should go out and have a look at that.
Where's Pete Helming?
Oh, look at the tracks. Oh, Pete.
Hi, guys.
How you doing?
Not too bad.
Pete Johnston is a U.S. Border Patrol officer. He works closely with Canadian police.
Yeah, we're staying busy.
Do you figure this is where they come through last night?
Well, yeah, according to the tracks, I checked all the other signs, and this is the only road that's had any activity on it, this road here.
Do you know what kind of vehicle they were driving?
Yeah, it looks like a four-wheeler.
Really?
Yeah, looks like a pickup. Yeah. Deep tracks then? Yeah, deep tracks, heavy lugs on it.
Weighted down,
It's loaded down, yeah, you can see through the mud that they're carrying a pretty good load, looks like to me.
Okay, we'll head over this way, and then we'll get in touch with you a little later.
All right, well, I'll double-check some of the crossings, but I'm just about 90% certain this is the one they used.
Okay. Okay, Pete.
Okay,
See you later.
For the job that they're trying to tackle, trying to cover all this border, yeah, they could definitely use more people.
Unlike his Canadian counterparts, Johnston patrols the border on a regular basis. For every smuggler he catches, he says at least 3 get away.
We've seen a dramatic increase probably in the last approximately 4 years, somewhere right in there. From basically almost nothing as far as especially liquor, cigarettes type stuff, to everybody's doing it nowadays.
Hello, how are you people today?
Good. Smuggling is not confined to the back roads. Now, more than ever, people are stuffing compartments in their cars with more than their legal limit of goods.
We're looking for, we're verifying people's declarations is what we're doing. And in the meantime of verifying people's declarations, we're also looking for prohibited goods that may try and enter Canada.
Do most people try and hide things from customs officials?
A certain amount of people, yes. Depends what you mean by hiding it. If it's just in the trunk, we don't consider it hidden, you know, a lot of times. Like if it's in open view. Like if it's in the back seat in open view, we don't consider it being hidden. If it's under a blanket, though, it's hidden.
Okay, this one of the vehicles we seized last year was, it contained 21 cases of American liquor. As you can see, they painted the windows on the inside black so you couldn't see in, conceal the liquor.
When smugglers are caught, this is where the contraband ends up, with police. They rarely get it back, and in most cases, liquor and cigarettes are destroyed.
Okay, we've got Johnson's Canadian whiskey here, Bob. I think we got roughly, how many cases?
Well, 25 cases.
25 cases, okay.
Revenue Canada says it has no idea of the value of undeclared purchases brought across the border. The best guess is in the millions. That means lost taxes.
Most people probably think, well, it's a victimless crime, where in fact, I beg to differ with them. I think we all are paying a price for the smuggling. I believe that all taxpayers will pay in the end.
Hello, how are you today?
Opponents of cross-border shopping are calling for more rigorous enforcement at the border, but others say that would increase lineups and require more inspectors. Americans don't like the idea either. Some members of Congress say restrictions would violate the free trade agreement. The deal lowered duty rates on goods manufactured in Canada and the U.S. Some items, such as compact disc players, VCRs, and cameras, are duty-free, but the GST still applies. If you've been away 48 hours, you can bring back $100 worth of goods duty-free.
Here you go.
Hi.
How are you doing today?
Good, good. Ours is the 464.21.
Okay, and that's for two of you?
That's the two of us.
And you have receipts?
Yes, we do.
Okay, you were $362.67 Canadian over your exemption.
Yeah.
And the total that you'll owe is $41.68.
Okay.
32 cents is your change.
Okay. And that covers our duty and everything?
Yep.
Oh, excellent.
I need you to sign right there, please.
Sure. Our duty was a lot less than we figured. We paid on $400 worth of articles, we paid $15 duty.
That's, I mean, and that's why we weren't sure if we'd get far ahead money-wise, but with that little bit of duty, we came out really well.
Very, very well.
Was the trip worth it?
You
yes,
bet.
It was.
It's fun.
So will you be coming back again someday?
Oh, definitely.
You bet.
Definitely.
No other minivan has won the hearts of so many Canadian families. Built in Canada by Canadians, the best-selling Chrysler Magic Wagon now carries another proud achievement. Winner of the Canada Award for Business Excellence in Quality. Magic Wagon from Chrysler. All you have to do is drive one.
The Family Service Good Neighbor Lottery has 1,001 ways to win.
It's a better than 1 in 20 chance at vacations, cars, and a grand prize of $100,000 cash.
Enter by March 31st for the early bird draw of a 92 Geo, dream vacations, and much, much more.
Look for your entry form in the mail or call the Good Neighbor Lottery line at 1-800-668-1999. In Regina, call 721-7272.
Early bird deadline is March 31st. Support the Family Service Bureau of Regina. Neighbors helping neighbors.
Tommy Hunter. Special guest, Ricky Skaggs. And Brenda Lee and George Fox. The Tommy Hunter Show, Saturday on CBC.
This week on the Country Beat, watch Garth Brooks, Bruce Coburn, the Hard Rock Miners, Dwight Yoakam, Kalita, John Anderson, the Forrester Sisters, Laura Vincent, and the Bud Country Countdown. I'm Bonnie Valavand. Don't miss it.
The Country Beat, Saturday on CBC.
The last word on cross-border shopping tonight.
Or should we say the last note goes to Mark Barron.
I don't know where the money goes. I work all day and then some.
When I get home, the family moans, we're low on food and income. So we hit the stores and we buy more. Your prices weren't so high. That GST is killing me, but we don't have to fight. Let's go shopping in a USA. Jump in the car, heading down the old speedway. We wanna go where the deals are hot. Spend a little bit of money and save a lot. Come on, let's go shopping in the USA. Drive real fast, my foot's on the gas, heading across the border. Honey, what's that light? It's kinda bright. Whoops, I think it's a law and order. I put on a show to drive real slow. The siren starts to whine. He says, you've been speeding, give me one good reason why you shouldn't pay this fine. Let's go shopping in the USA. Shop, shop, USA. Jump in the car, heading down the old speedway. Shop, shop, USA. We wanna go where the deals are hot. Spend a little bit of money and save a lot. Come on, let's go shopping in the USA. Come on now. I'll be a little crazy, go a little nuts. Buy everything from suit to butts. Hit that border, he'll stop and stare. Anything to declare. Let's go shopping in the USA. Shop, shop, USA. Jump in the car, heading down the road speedway. Yes, USA. We wanna go where the deals are hot. Spend a little bit of money and save a lot. Come on, let's go shopping in the USA. But you want the food? Oh, come on, let's go shopping in the USA.
Have you met such an understanding U.S. State Trooper and a Customs Inspector at the border?
No, but if I'm ever there shopping, I hope so.
Yeah, go with Mark Barron. You'll come ahead. We've enjoyed bringing you this special on cross-border shopping. Hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for News Magazine coming up next. Good night.
Good night.
This is CBC Television.